Factory is 5,000 metric tons per day. Yes, that is the fresh tomatoes.
And where are you getting the supplies from?
We get the supply from Upper Isia, Paluku, Navrongo, and even along the White Volta. Farmers are seriously farming tomatoes. Even it get to a point that Tomatoes Trailers Association from Accra even came here. Sometimes they were supporting this factory because there was a lot of tomatoes in Burkina Faso. So they will buy it and also bring it here so that the factory will also receive and return their money to them. So business was booming. And then along this Paluku community or the whole of the community, it was employment to we the youth. But now the factory have been collapsed since 2012. We have never worked.
Yasantua Girls Senior High School is battling with what authorities say vehicular knockdown of students and teachers. One victim is said to have stayed out of school for almost a year following a life-threatening accident on the busy road near the school. The students want a footbridge across to the school's main gate on the KWASI-Sunyani Road.
I will plead with you to do everything possible within your capacity to help construct a footbridge in the front of our school gate for the students and especially the day students. We ask for this because some of our students and teachers have been knocked down by vehicles in their attempt to cross the road.
Businesses will soon be able to register and acquire license online as the Ghana Tourism Authority automates its operation. That's according to Executive Director Charles Osei Bonsu, who addressed a tourism awards ceremony in Kumasi.
The authority intends to automate its registration and licensing procedures to ease the process of procuring license to operate tourism enterprise. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the authority has not relented in its advocacy role in the furtherance of the sector's interest. For example, the authority is liaising with Ghana Investment Promotion Center to reintroduce the duty exemptions on inputs for tourism investments.
Lecturers and other staff of KWASI Technical University are demanding the amended Technical University Bill be withdrawn. They argued amendments will cripple academic independence and autonomy of the former polytechnics, which were recently converted into technical universities.
When the councils took over, the ministry and the NCT says that, hold on, you can't enact your statute. Even though the law says that enact your own statute, the NCT says that, wait, let me bring you a harmonized statute. So all technical universities, you have a harmonized statute. By harmony, we don't know whether we are saying that all areas should be the same or some parts should be the same. But we had agreed in principle that yes, because we work in the same sector, some areas should be the same. Things like appointment and promotion of staff, discipline of staff, but there are other areas which should be different, depending on the peculiar needs or nature of our program and academic setting.
Ashanti Region's most popular radio station, Ishwa 104.3 FM, has for the fourth time been adjudged the most tourism-oriented radio station. Late afternoon show Ofie Kwanse host Kingsley Odamia Mwako, also known as Asanka Boyoyo, emerged best tourism promoter. City authorities in Kumasi are investigating allegations of extortion of traders by unscrupulous individuals, promising to secure for them at the new Kejetia market. Though officials are yet to get hold of any individual, they say intelligence points to such fraudulent activities.
And you heard Mona Lisa Frimpong and Rafino Saikono there with the reporters with the back issues. Now let's go to the reporters angle. Ghana imports between 50 and 70 truckloads of tomato daily in the off-season from Burkina Faso. In fact, the Food and Agriculture Ministry puts the annual figure at about 70,000 metric tons. Now 40% of the tomato produced in Ghana in the main season goes waste, requiring processing of the excess. Meanwhile, the Fualugu tomato factory in the Upper East region is rotting away for unexplained reasons. Established by the first president Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and revitalized by the President Kufuor about 10 years ago, the factory is now dormant. Now we'll be speaking shortly with Prince Appiah. He has been on that beat. We're going to speak more on the issue. Prince, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, you've been there at the Fualugu tomato factory. Can you tell us more about the story?
Yeah, consider as you rightly indicated, this factory was established many years ago back by our for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, and during the first administration of the NPP led by President Kufuor, he revamped this particular factory and it started working. Now, as you also indicated, Ghana produces so much tomatoes during the bumper time, and as a result of that, most of these tomatoes go to waste. One, the reason is that a lot of traders and a lot of consumers say that the Ghana tomato rots easily. So in a matter of 2 days, then the tomato becomes watery. You can't use it for anything. So the next option is that these tomatoes can be processed. So if the only available processing plant, which is the Pualugo tomato factory, which is supposed to do this particular exercise, is dormant, it means that all the tomatoes, about 40% of what is produced in Bema, Akomadang, Agogo, and other areas, all go to waste. So much money is being, lost in this particular venture.
Wow.
I should also say that as a result of that, in the off-season, when tomato traders in Ghana are not producing in Akomadam, Dema, Agogo, and other areas, they have to travel to Burkina Faso to import tomatoes into the country, that because the consumers can consume and other traders along the value chain can use to do their businesses. That is the story we decided to talk about. And the interesting bit is how these traders go to Burkina Faso, bring the tomatoes, the atrocities that they go through, the abuse that they go through in getting the tomatoes from Burkina into Ghana. Is the story we want to tell. And again, how this particular factory had been left. It was employing so many people in the Upper East, communities, and of course people that come from other surrounding regions, employing so many people. All these people have left the community. Communities around the Pualugu have become a ghost town sort of, and they've all traveled, migrated to get jobs, greener pastures elsewhere. So we put a spotlight on Pualugu Tomato Factory. Of course, there are other stories around it we will tell later. But now we put a spotlight on the Pualugu Tomato Factory, why it has become dormant, and the kind of effect and impact it's having on those who used to work there, the community there, the local economy, the businesses, and people around.
Yes, and I know you witnessed so many things there. I don't know whether you can tell us some of the experiences that you had there.
Yeah, I consider, DEBRAH, it is interesting, so many things that, we experienced. I should say that I went together with Nana Asensu Mensah. The two of us did a story. You see, from Kumasi to Upper East is a long distance, and traveling from Kumasi to that end, the experience, you have to sleep in the car, wake up and sleep, it was tiring though, at a point you have to stop somewhere, stretch our legs, sit back into the vehicle, then we drive on.
That's not easy.
It was interesting. Another thing I should say is that getting to the Upper East region, very different from Kumasi.
Wow.
This is very hot. Now you would say that Kumasi is hot, but I tell you, Upper East, Upper West, Northern region
is burning.
It's
burning.
Very hot. And it was terrible because that's the first time as so, and we had to find it really difficult, staying there.
Yeah, and there's a guy who sweats a lot.
Sweats a lot, my brother. And another interesting thing is that we were told that the trip is going to last for 3 days. So our preparations towards the trip was, 3 days. Your clothes you are taking, money on you, staff, should last for 3 days. But it ended up, going into 5-6 days. And you would understand how the feeling was. You've not washed your clothes, your money is finished, and all that. And another interesting thing, Deborah.
No ATM card.
No ATM card, my brother. Because we thought it was only 3 days. And the food is really different from what is in Kumasi. The soup is different with the hair,
different
and
culture.
all those green stuff. Your first time of tasting it. Some of them you have to run for days and all that. It was an interesting trip, but I should say that the experience was worth it because the story brings back to life what really needs to be done to help the local economies. The President, Nana Akufo-Addo, has been talking so much about industrializing the economy.
Absolutely.
And if we have a factory like the Pualugu tomato factory, which was doing so much for the country up north, it tells you that it is a time for the factory to be revamped. Some of the experiences. Next time we'll talk about the traveling into Burkina Faso and what we saw there and the experience there as well.
And anything interesting?
Yeah, I've said some of them, but I should tell you that, KWASI DEBRAH, the local economy in the upper east, western, and northern region is so much different. The population is very few, and you say that in Ashanti region we use a lot of vehicles, but over there the motorbikes and the bicycles are more than the cars.
Yeah,
the motorbikes, bicycles, everywhere, and they compete with the vehicles, big trucks, commercial vehicles. The little space available, you see. And another thing I realized was that there was not so much horning. We're in a traffic and it's red. Immediately turns green in Kumasi and other areas. You see everybody start horning. Bing, bing, bing. You got to move so that the next person is coming past. But over there, it is not so. At least for the time I spent there. So as I would ask that, really, these people, they are very disciplined. because nobody is horning and telling you to move for the next person to come. Immediately it's green, everyone is moving.
They're quite calm.
It's so interesting, and it's surprising that, a place like that, it's really different from down south. Wow. And my friend, it was interesting.
Wow.
I should say that because we were not familiar with the food, the only thing we were eating was a confirm. Hey, confirm Jejayo. It was a confirm through, that confirm cooked.
Is that a Jida one?
It was nice.
I was asking if it's not the Jida one.
I can't tell.
Wow.
Perhaps maybe the grandchildren of the Jida one.
And I know since we started this conversation, you've been talking so much about lessons learned. I don't know whether I can cap this whole conversation with lessons learned so far.
Yeah, I should say that we are in a country where we do a lot of talking, Successive governments come and they give out a lot of promises to the people.
Absolutely.
When we got to Pualugu, you will realize that the people had so much confidence in the factory.
Unfortunately, we've lost Prince Apia there. So he brought us a reporter's angle on what happened at Pualugo Tomato Factory, the defunct one. Now let's go to the major news bulletin. My name is Emmanuel KWASI DEBRAH. Thank you so much for joining us. Trouble is brewing between two communities in the Ashanti region over the siting of a capital of the proposed Afija-Kwabre North District. Residents of Boamai and Hahinkro are claiming legitimacy to host the district capital. And there are indications Boamai has a edge over Hahinkro, whose residents are protesting. It comes as the dust is yet to settle over the relocation of a Chuma-Kwaoma district capital from Ofuase to Chedie. Now, 4 people have so far died in a recent alleged police shooting to disperse protesting residents of Ofuase over the issue. First, let's take a look at the political history of Afija-Kwabre district, one of the orphan assemblies in the Ashanti region.
It was created in 2008 by the Kufuor administration with powers of Legislative Instrument 1856 of Act 2007. It is one of the districts with 2 constituencies, namely Afija-Kwabre North and Afija-Kwabre South, formerly Afija-Setre West and Kwabre West. It is also an assembly that did not have a single government property. Everything has been rented till now. It currently has 64 assembly members, including the DCE Ketri Oponchecheku and the 2 members of parliament for Afija-Kwabre North and South, Nanama for Ameniampong and William Oreku Edu. In the last general election, the NPP secured 17,798 presidential votes, representing 70.35% of the total valid votes cast in Afija-Kwabre North, while it secured 46,660 as presidential votes, representing 81.28% of the valid votes cast in the Afija-Kwabre South. The National Democratic Congress, the NDC, polled some 7,268 and 10,373 votes, representing 28.73% and 18.7% in both Afija-Kwabre North and South constituencies. With a current population of 136,140, an area size of 302.1 square kilometers, the Ashanti Regional Authority of the Town and Country Planning records that the Afija-Kwabre district is the 4th most populous to the KWASI Metropolitan Assembly, the Jisujaben Municipal Assembly, and the Achema-Mwabieja District Assembly.
Now, without luxury and with the assembly operating in rented premises at a fuel station at the district capital, Kodie, caretaker district chief executive Ketri Oponchecheku led initiative for various projects.
With the scarce financial resources, the Assembly has achieved a lot for such a less endowed district and is competing well with the KWASI Metropolitan Assembly and other MMDAs in the country. Since 2009, the Assembly has built 300 household latrines at Ankasi, Mpobi and Tetrim and supplied 700 street light bulbs to Wawase, Abu-Abuja and Denase and drilled 80 mechanized boreholes for the various communities in the district. For central administration, the Assembly has completed the building of bungalows for the DCE and District Coordinating Director, as well as a 2 semi-detached bungalow for the Assembly staff. Through the financial capability of the Africa Development Bank, ADB, a 600,000 Ghana cedis small water project was initiated for the district to help solve the perennial water problem in the area.
Now, apart from the assembly projects, the former DCE collaborated with the then MP for Afija-Setre West, that's Dr. Albert Kantapa, to begin about 7 projects. Now, before the end of the 2011, Mr. Oponchecheku had 58 projects to his credit. 38 of them were completed, with 20 ongoing about 95 communities by the time he exited office. And of course, internally generated funds had a place there.
As of August 2011, the district had mobilized 122,186.51 Ghana cedis through internally generated funds, IGF, representing 57% of the 390,000 Ghana cedis it targeted at the end of the year. Among the completed developmental projects executed were the construction of the District Coordinating Director's bungalow and the construction of 2-unit semi-detached quarters, all at Kodie at the cost of 162,350 Ghana cedis. Majority of the projects which were executed in the education sector included the construction of dormitory blocks and teachers' quarters at Kodie, Bronkron, Eduman, Buaman, Pentain, Edukro, Heman Buonho, Mpobi, Abroma, Maase, Edretia and Chichewere. The construction of a 3-classroom block at Tetirim was initiated by the then Member of Parliament for Efija Setre West constituency, Albert Kandapa, in collaboration with the DCE. Project was awarded to the contractor Jubilee Construction Works on 1st March 2009. Construction commenced on 15th March 2009 and was completed in November 10th, 2009.
And on health, the district has completed nurses' quarters at Bofedro and a 2-bedroom semi-detached quarters at Abuja. Now, the total amount spent on these projects is 82,249 Ghana cedis. Now, let's take a look at the road network in the district.
4 roads that have been completed are the 3.5 kilometers port improvements from Wawase to Kobeda by the feeder roads, a 6.5 kilometers grass cutting from Abuaso through Ankasi to Nantang, and a 5.6 kilometer road surfacing from Swedru to Mpobi. A 7.5 kilometers Kodia More road has been surfaced to enhance easy transportation. More so, a district-wide electrification project of 200 street lights, which cost 40,000 Ghana cedis, has been completed. It was awarded to the KMAX contractor on 1st September 2010. For economic reasons, the district embarked on the construction of markets and stores at Kodie, all of which have been completed and are in use. On water and sanitation, a district-wide construction of 300 household latrines have been successfully completed. Other projects include the construction of 33 KVIP toilets in 33 schools in the district. The construction of small towns water system at Ankase, Impobi and Edretia, and mechanized boreholes at Abuja, Kwaman and Bronkron.
Now, all these point to the fact that the district is well resourced, but let's narrow it down to the proposed Efija Kwabre North district, carved from the existing Efija Kwabre. Now, tempers are high. The people of Ahinkro want to host the district capital at the expense of Buaman, which appears to have the edge, according to the people. Now, let's look at the genesis of the matter. Prince Champon is the secretary to the chief of Ahinkro, Nana Ahinkro say the third.
In fact, we heard it in the air that the government wants to create new districts. That is, the government wanted to carve a district from the existing one, which is the Efija Kwabre, and the current district capital is Kodie. In fact, when we heard it, we wanted to get a clear-cut evidence. So we were waiting for a document. Eventually, we landed on one. That is the memorandum from the Electoral Commission. When we read the memorandum, we realized that they have proposed Buamai to be the district capital for the proposed district, which is Efija Kwabre North. But when we read through the memorandum, the guidelines in selecting the district capital, it focused on the centrality and proximity of the town. Now, looking at the Efija Kwabre, in fact, if you hear Efija and Kwabre, it is made up of 2 different blocks, the Efija block and the Kwabre block. Now, Ahinkro is at the center of both blocks. That is the Kwabre and the Efija, and it virtually separates the two.
Now, Mr. Champon is also part of a group known as Concerned Citizens of Efija Kwabre East, and I have a letter here by another group which calls itself Opinion Leaders of Efija Kwabre District.
We have noted with concern the divisive comments attributed to a so-called concerned youth of Efija Kwabre district. We will not go down to the same path. It is necessary to note that the district was carved out of the Efija Setre and Kwabre districts with Buaman as the capital. However, due to the influence of the then Ashanti Regional Minister, Honorable Oswansa, Kodie became the de facto capital, although in the legislative instrument setting up the district, Buaman is recorded as the capital. Citizens from the Efija portion of the district did not protest through litigation, and it was agreed that some key sectors of the district, including agriculture and security, should be located at Buaman. Hence, the district police command and agriculture offices are at Buaman. Honorable KWASI Kakari Echamfor, who has no blood relations with Honorable Albert Kandapa except that they both came from Mase, had to resign his job as the Deputy Director, Administration of DVLA, to take up the position of the District Chief Executive. He did not even receive his first pay before the government was voted out of power in 2008. The 1992 Constitution abhors discrimination on the basis of where individuals come from, and if indeed those maligning Honorable Kandapa and Kakari Echamfor have meant well, they would not have made the innuendo that Honorable Kakari Echamfor is incompetent and think that the only reason that he may be appointed as DCE is because he is related to Honorable Kandapa, which is never true. It is clear that those involved are using nepotism to advance a baseless argument, as they all come from the Kwabri area of the district, although they claim to be representative of the whole district. Their assertion that they would not allow anybody from the north of the district to be appointed DCE because the presiding member is from the north of the district suggests plainly that they come from the Kwabri area.
Had you heard a letter from the opinion leaders of Efija Kwabre district? And beyond these, residents of Ahinkro have barrage of concerns from transportation to employment.
Because I wasn't educated, I made sure to send all my 7 wards to school. But when they are done, they remain at home without any decent job.
Now they have come to one conclusion, and that's to vote skirt and blouse.
This is the KWASI. Because I did before more Fija Kwabre now. We now could this outside. Tinyama be a baby and almost per se, a one echo. Hey, my bunya way. I do be a baby near 12 and some more. I do be a baby near 12 and some more. Near Kwabre Hano, said Fatakra.
We always elect leaders from Buaman. But is it fair if we vote for you but you take the capital away from us? The place is small. Buaman can't be compared to Ahinkro. We will definitely vote skirt and blouse.
Said this place is Antimia Maha. There was a Yabia Yabu Trimpo. Yamma, you were in Kuranum see, and I said Quabrianum say Yabu Trimpo. In this district in Amaha, there was a Yabia Yabe. Nemum, ya prepare demonstration be so me man ye be ye dia tia omo. Na say ni mani we ya oma me ya hunu asem na ye kan na ye dia to me ma me ya hunu answer. The omo pese omo hunu no, omo be hunu a chense.
Now after this we dash to Buaman to seek answers, and this is what and we spoke with the assemblyman for Buaman, and this is what he said.
But you're meeting the Honorable Augustine Frimpong, Amako North electoral area assembly member. Oh, Sahinko for Kasa, me momide, me who is a Enyano Cressa. If he's a me district or mam
efficient amenities after it was made a district. Now the government doesn't overlook towns with no or less infrastructure aimed at to improve standards in towns. And when you look at Kwamai, Kodie and Buaman, we have loss of infrastructure. When it was made the capital, all the benefits will spread across the neighboring towns. And I disagree when you say Ahinkro is well developed than Buaman. The government sought the needs of the people and not the fact that the Honorable Kandapa is here. And the government saw the neighboring town were made districts, and Buaman deserves that privilege. Health, education, and sanitation services will be provided and being approved by our leaders. And he continues that it's not true that it will benefit only Efija. As an assemblyman, I submitted my letter to Kodie Honorable Opom Chechekuhu. Then the DC provided roofing sheets for the building, and those at KWASI were provided as well. So they were beneficial to the assembly. There's no partiality, and he aimed his aim is to enhance or bring about unity, and that's what he said. Now, at the other side, at the maiden edition of the breast cancer quiz competition, among the finalists were KWASI girls, KWASI Senior High, and Tia Madia. At the contest, which Tia Madia won massively, this question was asked.
You name one common cancer apart from breast cancer when I get to you. Are you all?
And you heard it. Name one form of cancer apart from breast cancer. And that's what the bevies of KWASI girls said.
Cervical cancer is correct.
Lung cancer.
Lung cancer is correct for 3 points.
Vagina cancer. Vagina cancer.
And you heard it. She said vagina. And she said vagina cancer. And after close to a minute consultation that's talking about a quizmaster, the answer was deemed wrong. Well, so that was wrong. But is there something like vagina cancer?
Vaginal cancer is a disease in which malignant cancer cells form in the vagina. Signs and symptoms of vaginal cancer include pain or abnormal vaginal bleeding. Tests that examine the vagina and other organs in the pelvis are used to detect and diagnose vaginal cancer. Certain factors affect chance of recovery and treatment options.
So, well, after that, I engaged the girls, and this is what they said.
Sorry, the vagina cancer that we said is our part, and then we accept that we are wrong, because when we were learning, we came across one event known as the Globathon, and then we learned that their main focus was the prevention and detection of all gynecological cancers. And then under the gynecological cancers, they gave us the vagina, the vulva, and then the cervical. So when we were also learning we came across cervix cancer. So we were thinking that so long as that cervix cancer also fall under the gynecological cancer, the vaginal cancer is also a part of the cancers in the world. But then we didn't know that it wasn't really far, but then it fall under the gynecological cancer. So we accept.
Frankly, I don't understand what she said. The question was, name one form of cancer aside breast cancer. And I thought vaginal cancer should have been there somewhere. So remember, we came to you live from the digital address AK2504755 on your super station Live 99.5. We're also live on Facebook at facebook.com/Live News Link. On Twitter at Live FM 995 #Live News Link. And this night we look at tension over siting of capital for proposed Afichakwabre North District, even when the dust is yet to settle at Fuase. Ahinkro people believes they are a better place and where we source their Boaman counterparts think otherwise. And from the news team here, thank you so much for accompanying us. My name is KWASI DEBRAH. Have a good time, have a nice day, have a good evening. Bye-bye.